What's going on, guys? Render Real here. Got a little Tesla Hot Wheels RC conversion, a 164 to 164. We're gonna take this Adventure Force Rapid Racer 164th RC car and try to install it into this beautiful little Hot Wheels Tesla right here. So you can see the side by side. There's a clear similarity in size, but also a little bit of a concern when it comes to the height. First, we're gonna take apart this Tesla Hot Wheels. You're gonna have to get rid of the mushroom top that exists on the posts, which basically holds the whole car together. You can use a drill for that. You could file them down. There's many ways. If you'd like a video on that, we could show you in another video. But basically, the Hot Wheels consist of 5 parts. You have the metal shell, the windows, the interior, the chassis, and the wheels, as you can see. And I'll put it back together real quick. Next, we're gonna take apart the RC car. Now, the RC car is similar in layers, but obviously has some more components to it, such as the battery, the ESC or electronic speed control, the motor driver, and the steering system. But we're going to see that right now. No drill needed, simple assembly. You're going to have to be very careful though as you pull it apart. Something that caught me a little by surprise was actually the steering mechanism. So it's not a typical motor-driven linkage type system. It is actually what appears to just be a magnet or some kind of coil that obviously electricity is pulsed through to create some kind of electromagnet. Now we have both chassis side by side, or top to bottom, and the RC car, which is in the middle, clearly has a shorter wheelbase. So now I'm going to take the Tesla chassis and mark it on the table that I'm using. This way I can kind of have a reference of the wheelbase for when I need to cut the other chassis. So real quick, I'm just going to bore out the mounting point on the RC car to expand the hole a little bit. Now we are going to get down to the nitty-gritty of the actual modification of the chassis. So with the RC car, I have to cut it in multiple places. I'm going to cut the front and the back to accommodate the Hot Wheels chassis. I'm also going to cut it in the middle. Now when I'm cutting it in the middle, I want to make sure that I'm keeping intact the switch location for the power as well as the charge port. And as you can see here, I'm just basically trimming everything that I possibly can off the front except for the posts which the steering box actually fits into. Also trimming the rear. So when I trim the middle, I'm trimming as close as I possibly can to the motor. Okay, do a little sanding just to smooth out the edges, try to keep them flat, keep them level. Now you can see the two chassis side by side. As you can tell, I've still left the power switch as well as the connector port intact. Now we're going to modify the Tesla chassis. Now really all I want is the front portion and the rear portion, plus a small section of the middle. Now this section of the middle is going to be used to basically expand the wheelbase on the RC car. This way we have a nice fit, the wheels will fit, and it'll come out beautifully. Well, let's hope. In order to fit the chassis properly, I had to actually modify the Tesla body quite a bit, sanding the front fenders down so that they could fit a larger wheel, as well as the post so that the post could receive the steering assembly. So now you see here I'm going to be modifying the Tesla chassis even more. I'm trimming off any excess. It just so happens that they're both about the same width at the widest portion, so I cut off the rear axle area, and now I'm just cutting off a small, about a 1/8 inch piece of the midsection of the Tesla chassis. Now this is going to be glued in between the two halves of the RC chassis that I have already cut. Okay, so apply a little glue, nice little super glue. And now I'm attaching the midsection of the Tesla to the RC rear. Okay, fits nice. So here we're looking at the front of the Tesla chassis as well as the RC chassis, and this is going to show me where I need to cut the Tesla chassis in order for it to fit properly. Cut it and then give it a little sand. After I sand it, I'll do a little fitment check and then I'll glue it in place. Fits wonderfully, and now I want to do a fit check on the rear portion of the RC chassis. Mind you, it already has the midsection installed. It's a little large. I'm going to sand it down, obviously, to make it fit. As I grind it, I grind it, I grind it. I'm going to keep grinding this down until it just barely fits. I want it to be pretty snug because I'm not going to actually put screws back in this to keep it together. We're just going to kind of have a press fit assembly. Alright, I think we're good. So now what I did notice is that the RC chassis is actually a little thicker than the Hot Wheels chassis, which is riding up against the battery. So in order to make this fit, I had to grind down the chassis a little bit so that the battery could rest at a normal position and wouldn't press up against the glass, and everything would fit fine. So there we go. So now everything fits together. I'm going to glue this together, and then once it's glued, here we're going to give it a little file. I'm going to get rid of some of those burrs, kind of smooth it out a little bit, make it pretty. Sweet. Alright, that's good enough. So alternatively I could have painted this, I guess, but I ended up just using some Sharpie and covering up the whited out portions. Okay, so now we're pretty much done. I haven't actually glued the rear section of the chassis from the Tesla onto the modified RC body yet because I want to fit them all together first and then glue it in place. So real quick, I'm going to reinstall the gearbox assembly, the motor, put everything together, make sure it all fits nice, and then we'll fit it to the body. Then I'll actually apply the glue to the rear section of the Tesla chassis to the modified RC chassis, and we will be done. Again, this isn't a RC build from scratch. We kind of just mended two already purchased products, but nonetheless, super fun. Way better looking than the original RC car. And it's Tesla. It's an electric vehicle. What could be better than that? Yep, so now I've got a good fitment. I'm going to apply some glue, and then the body will be done. Awesome. Alright, this is the final product, made in Chi. And here you go, here's some photos of this beautiful little electric vehicle. No tires, but it's alright. It kind of actually made it a lot more fun. And here we go.